Hey guys, we're here with our GPSL Championship Battle. We are going up against Rezilient for the title in the GPSL. Real quick, we will go over Rezilient's team once again. He has Mega Scizor, Latios, Sylveon, Rotom Wash, Entei, Donphan, Crobat, Druddigon, Tangrowth, Slowking, Hariyama, and Malamar. Our team, of course, is Mega Lopunny, Latias, Clefable, Skarmory, Arcanine, Milotic, Crocodile, Cofagrigus, Ambipom, Rotom, Steelix, and Regirock. So this is it, you guys. This is the final battle of the GPSL. We are 6-1. Rezilient is 7-0. It's a very fitting match. Our one loss came from Rezilient in week 6. And honestly, I'm very nervous for this battle. I'm very excited but very nervous at the same time. This is probably by far both the longest I've ever taken to build a team and the most I considered myself while building this team. Am I losing my mind? Because some of this stuff is a little bit crazy. Not a lot of it, but a little bit. So here we go, are going over the team. First thing you will notice, and it is very tragic, but we're not bringing Mega Lopunny to this fight. There's a couple of reasons why. Number one, I feel as though Rezilient will be over-preparing for Mega Lopunny. Thusly so, we're not going to bring it. I feel like he's going to bring a lot of his physical walls, which is why you will see our whole team, barring one thing, is special attackers. Very risky, but at the same time, I felt it was worth it. Now, going over the first thing we do have on this team is Toro, our Rotom, holding a Choice Scarf with the ability Levitate, has the moves Volt Switch, Leaf Storm, Thunderbolt, and HP Fire. With 252 special attack, 32 special defense, and 224 speed. Modest nature. That amount of speed will outspeed his entire team with the Choice Scarf, excluding a Choice Scarfer of his own. That amount of speed will outspeed Crobat by 1 point, max speed jump. Volt Switch for initiative, Leaf Storm for stab, Thunderbolt for stab, HP Fire to hit Mega Scizor. Sylveon is a switch into this thing, Latios is a switch into this thing. I have to be, if I see them, I have to kind of be predicting them with Volt Switch. I'm mostly bringing this thing because Electric Stab is pretty good against this team. Because Crobat is one of the biggest threats on his team. And this thing is 100%, this thing beats Rotom Wash one-on-one, and that's what matters the most. I resist both of Rotom Wash's stab. He's never run a non-bulky Rotom Wash before, so I don't think he'd come up with anything crazy like HP Fire. If he did, very much so props to him. Up next, I actually want to go over Pinky. I want to save these three for last because these guys are a little bit crazy. These guys are decently standard, but these three, the crazy squad. So we have Pinky, our Clefable, holding the leftovers with the ability Unaware. Has the moves Moonblast, Ice Beam, Moonlight, and Stealth Rock with 248 HP, 120 special attack, and 140 special defense with a modest nature. A bit of a weird EV set, but I'll explain it. That amount of special attack will 2-hit KO the Malamar set that he brought against me last time, which was a lot of HP investment and an Assault Vest. That will 2-hit KO it with Moonblast. Moonblast, I don't know why I said it like that. With Moonblast. We have enough coverage on our team to deal with Mega Scizor. We have HP Fire on Rotom. We have, you'll see HP Fire on Cofagrigus. We have Fire Stab on Arcanine, and we have HP Fire on Latios as well. Not to spoil anything, but we do. So, I feel like we didn't need Flamethrower to hit Mega Scizor. What I really wanted was something to hit Crobat. Because Crobat deals with my team way too much. I learned that the hard way last time we fought Rezilient. So Ice Beam is to be able to hit that. It will 2-hit KO it. with the set he ran last time. If he wanted to run a fully specially defensive and fully HP invested, then it's a 3-8 KO, but I don't think he would. Moonlight is for my own recovery. Stealth Rock is because it's the only thing on my team that learns Stealth Rock. Overall, everything on this team is meant to be a Wally attacker. It's such a weird team, but I just got a gut feeling that this is going to work. So that's Pinky. Up next is Yami, our Cofagrigus. Holding the choice specs with the ability Mummy, has the move Shadow Ball, Hidden Power Fire, Energy Ball, and Psychic with max HP, max special attack, 8 special defense, modest nature. This is the wall breaker of the team. The only thing that can effectively switch in on this thing, barring predictions of course, is Sylveon. My strongest move against Sylveon, Shadow Ball, is doing 40% to the choice specs set he runs normally, which is max HP, no special defense, investment models. So, the only thing that can effectively switch into this thing is Sylveon. If Sylveon's gone, Cofagrigus runs house. He doesn't have a single thing that is immune to nor resists ghost-type moves. So that's why we have Shadow Ball with choice specs. Hidden Power Fire is for the Scizor. Energy Ball is for the Rotom. Psychic is for the Crobat. I didn't need anything else on this team, so I just decided to run a bunch of coverage moves. That's our Cofagrigus this week. It was between him and Mega Lopunny that I actually wanted to bring. I ultimately decided on Cofagrigus, though, for the reason that I don't think he's expecting Cofagrigus as much as he is expecting Mega Lopunny. So, moving on to the Weird Squad. I'll do Calypso first, because it's probably the least weird. So we have Calypso with the leftovers, with the ability Marvel Scale, has the moves Hydro Pump, Recover, Ice Beam, and Hidden Power Bug. I think I'm the first person in the history of competitive Pokemon to run Hidden Power Bug. With 240 HP, 120 defense, 140 special attack, and 8 speed, with a modest nature. That amount of special attack will be 2-hit KOing the Malamar set he ran against me last time with Hidden Power Bug. The 8 speed is to outspeed the Malamar that has tried to outspeed me by 1 point. It's speed creeping. Recover is to recover off my own HP. Hydro Pump is for stab. Ice Beam is to hit Latios, Druddigon, and Tangrowth, which resist Hydro Pump. Did I say that was Recover? I meant that was Ice Beam. I don't know what I said. And then Hidden Power Bug is obviously for the Malamar. So here's the scenario that I imagined in my head. Last time, I very publicly screwed up my Milotic set, where I brought Magic Code instead of Mirror Code. I know that. Rezilient knows that. Anybody who saw those videos know that. So, it's very plausible I could be bringing Mirror Code again. I'm envisioning a scenario where Milotic is against Rotom Wash. Rotom Wash goes for Volt Switch on Milotic. Seeing that I stayed in with Milotic on a very powerful electric stab from Rotom Wash, I'm thinking he would be expecting me to be going for a Mirror Code here. He switches into Malamar, he's completely immune to it. But, if he switches into Malamar on that play, and I go for Hidden Power Bug, that takes him down to 50%. I speed correct him, I go for another Hidden Power Bug, he's dead. Malamar is gone. That's a huge threat out of the way. And even so, I just didn't need Mirror Coat this week, I didn't need any other Hidden Powers. I did some calcs with Hidden Power Grass for possibly on Rotom Wash, but it just wasn't doing enough. So anyways, that is our Milotic set this week. Up next, I think we'll do the red one, because it's a little bit less weird as well. We have the red one. Our Latias, holding the leftovers with the ability Levitate, has the moves Defog Roost, Draco Meteor, and Hidden Power Fire with 240 HP, 28 special attack, 60 special defense, and 180 speed with a calm nature. That amount of special attack, I believe, was to 2-hit KO Mega Scizor, max HP Mega Scizor, with Hidden Power Fire. That amount of speed will be outspeeding, I believe, Entei. Max speed Adamant, Entei. Not max speed Jelly. But max speed Adamant, Entei, I will be outspeeding it. Defog is for hazard removal. Roost is for own recovery. Draco Meteor is for the sake of stab. Once again, Sylveon walls this set. I could pick my poison. I could either run Hidden Power Fire and let Sylveon wall me, or I can run Psyshock and let Mega Scizor wall me. And honestly, I'm still kind of debating this. I might throw Psyshock onto this set instead of Hidden Power Fire, because I do have a lot to deal with Mega Scizor. And I don't feel like I have enough to deal with Sylveon. So, you know what? As I'm debating this in my head, I gotta go Psyshock. You know what? No. I'll let you know before the battle if I decide to go Psyshock. Because I want to run the calcs, and I don't have the time. So, that's our Latias set, and this is the weirdest set I've ever run in the history of Pokemon. At one point, this Arcanine set had a serious nature, which was no benefit to any nature, or to any stat at all. This is the weirdest thing I've ever had to do, even though it doesn't look that weird on paper. But here we have Arcanine, Amigo, holding the leftovers with the ability Intimidate. Has the moves Morning Sun, Toxic, Fire Blast, and Iron Head, with 248 HP, 116 attack, and 144 special defense. This is the hardest set I've ever had to build, ever, in the history of Pokemon. The 116 attack will 2-hit KO a max HP Sylveon, with no defense investment and a modest nature. I calc modest because that's what he usually runs with his choice spec set. You may be asking, why are you running a negative special attack nature and Fire Blast? Well, the main important thing about Fire Blast is that it's OHKOing Mega Scizor, and it's still OHKOing Mega Scizor even if I have the minus special attack nature. And that's all that matters. Because I can't run negative speed nature because then uninvested Rotom Wash will outspeed me. I can't run a negative Spadef nature because I need to be, this is meant to wall Sylveon. I can't be taking a negative defense nature because, once again, it's supposed to be walling Sylveon. If he brings Psyshock, this is a problem. I can't do negative attack nature, otherwise Iron Head will be 2 KOing, and you can't invest into HP. So special attack kind of had to take the bullet on this one. Excuse me, guys. I am sick. If you guys did not know, I probably put out a bunch of videos by now. I am very sick, so you'll probably hear it in my voice. But this is our Arcanine set. By far the weirdest set I've ever had to build, but I like it. I love this team. I'm very confident I'm in this team. I don't like the fact that Mega Lopunny is on this team, but I love this team. If you guys are at all interested, after the battle, I do have a recording of my entire team building process, my 3.5 hour to 4 hour long team building process. I will be posting it after the battle so you guys can look into my mind if you're maybe new in the competitive format, or if you're a veteran in this kind of format and you just want some new ideas or anything like that. Honestly, it's just a video I wanted to make for the whole season, and I felt like if I was going to do it at all, I might as well do it for the championship battle. So that will be going up if you guys want to check that out, of course. I'll probably put timestamps in the description so you don't have to watch the whole 3.5 hour thing to get to like when I start building my Latias set or whatever. So that's going to be our team, guys. This is it. This is what we've been striving for 2.5 months now. And it's just led up to this moment. Whatever happens, the GPSL has been a terrific part of my life. It's probably been my entrance into, it's definitely been my entrance into the YouTube community, which is terrific. I'd love to do this kind of thing again if I can find something to do. I want to stay in this kind of competitive format, the draft league format. I just think it's the most fun. Rezilient is a terrific battler. If we win, props to us because not very many people beat Rezilient. If he wins, once again, props to him because he finished this season undefeated. That's a terrific accomplishment in its own. Rezilient has become, I would say, a really good friend of mine. Just through this league. This is how I met him. And I don't want to get all emotional at this, so I'm just going to go ahead and skip to the battle. You guys should be seeing it right about now. Here we go. GPSL Championship. I'm very excited. See you guys at the battle. Alright guys, here we are at the battle, and looking at the team he brought, this is not at all what I was expecting, and also not what I had prepared for at all. I did not really expect Hariyama to be coming, not Latios, not Drotagon. Crobat, Donphan, and Sylveon, absolutely. But not the other three at all. So, looking at the team he brought, I'm going to predict a Drotagon lead, and I'm going to go ahead and lead with my Milotic, predicting that. And he is indeed going to lead with his Drotagon. I predicted Drotagon lead to possibly get up rocks. So I lead with my Milotic, and I'm just going to go for an Ice Beam. No reason to over-predict early. So we hit it for over 50%, which is terrific news. But he goes for the Thunder Punch, which I was like, what? I didn't even know Drudagon got Thunder Punch. So that's going to take down my Lodex, a huge chunk of my Lodex health. I'm just going to go for another Ice Beam and try to take it out. But of course, Drudagon also learns Sucker Punch. I need to learn a little bit more about Drudagon. We see it's the Life Orb as well. Life Orb Sheer Force. So I'm going to bring out my Clefable, thinking I would be able to kill it with a Moonblast. But he has Gunk Shot, and I don't know any of these things about Drudagon. And I am getting blown back. We are not off to a good start. He's gonna go down to he's gonna go for a Sucker Punch and take down my Latios to a real low amount of health as I go for a Draco Meteor and take out the Drudagon finally. But Drudagon essentially killed 3 members of my team before it went down, and that is no bueno. So it comes down to literally, can I beat 5 Pokemon with just Rotom, Cofagrigus, and Arcanine? So he's gonna bring in his Crobat. He's faster than me. And I don't want him getting initiative on the U-turn, so I'm going to let my Latios go down. It served its purpose as best as it can. I guess it doesn't really serve its purpose. So he's going to bring up the Hariyama now, and I'm going to go into my Cofagrigus because I calced it. And as long as he's not Assault Vest, Psychic should be OHKOing right now. And he goes for the Bulk Up, which is, yes, not Assault Vest. Because you can't use status moves with an Assault Vest. So I'm going to go for a Psychic, and down goes Hariyama, one shot. That's bringing it back a little bit. I have that going for me. So he probably recognizes that I'm Specs right now, and he's going to bring out his Latios, knowing that Psychic can't touch him. So I'm going to go into my Rotom real quick, so I could get initiative and Volt Switch, go right back out into my Cofagrigus, go for a Shadow Ball. He's going to go for a Psyshock, and that's going to do a huge chunk of health. I don't see Life Orb, so I don't think that was Specs either, so I'm thinking maybe like Expert Belt or Twisted Spoon or something like that. So I'm going to go for a Volt Switch and switch right back into my Cofagrigus as he goes for another Psyshock, and that's not going to do too much because of Cofagrigus' natural bulk. So he's going to go for a Draco Meteor and miss, which is pretty clutch on our part. That's pretty important because it keeps Cofagrigus healthy. We're going to go for a Shadow Ball and take out the Latios. Since it's Spec Shadow Ball, there's no way it's living. He's going to bring out the Sylveon in retaliation to that because Sylveon is so naturally special and defensive. He can take pretty much any hit I want to go for. So I have a Sylveon counter. I'm going to go right out to my Arcanine. And I'm going to get the Intimidate drop. He's going to go for a Hyper Voice. I'm going to take almost nothing from that, which is exactly what I wanted to be seeing. However, that wasn't quite exactly Specs damage. So I'm a little bit interested to see what kind of set he was running. Maybe I underestimated Sylveon or something like that, but I don't know. So I'm going to go for the Toxic, trying to Toxic down the Sylveon, but he's going to go into his Donphan, and honestly, this thing being Toxic isn't the worst thing in the world either, so that's okay. I cannot leave in my Arcanine against an Earthquake, so I'm going to go ahead and switch out into my Rotom, I believe, trying to be immune to the Earthquake. And I can threaten this thing out with the potential Leaf Storm, but he's going to double out into his Crobat. Now, this Crobat I was expecting to outspeed this Crobat because I had EV to outspeed it with the Scarf, but he outspeeds me, which means I either miscalced or he's Scarfed himself. So, banking on the fact that he Scarfed himself, oh, by the way, Rotom goes down to a Brave Bird. So banking on the fact that he Scarfed himself, I'm going to go into my Arcanine so I can threaten him out with the Intimidate drop, and I'm going to go for a Fire Blast on the incoming Donphan. But I am going to miss. And that is pretty important because 2 Fire Blasts would be taking Donphan out right now. And that is no bueno. So I have to switch out again. I cannot be taking an Earthquake. Cofagrigus cannot get past Sylveon, so I have to win this game with Arcanine. That's my only hope. So he's going to go for an Earthquake, get a crit, which is pretty important because now another Earthquake will kill us. So he's just going to go for another Earthquake, and down goes our Cofagrigus. They put in the work. I'm very proud of this Cofagrigus set we had. So now it comes down to Arcanine. Now, I'm going to pause it right here. I'm going to get the Intimidate drop when I come in, which means I'm going to be able to live an Earthquake. And I'm going to resume, actually. I'm going to pause it later. So I'm going to get the Intimidate drop as he's going to go for an Earthquake and try to do as much damage to my Arcanine as possible. As I'm going to go for a Fire Blast and take this down to the range where another Fire Blast will kill. He's going to go for an Earthquake and take me down to a pretty low amount of health. And I don't want to be that low of health, so I'm going to go ahead and start spamming Morning Sun until the Toxic takes him out next turn. So right here is a pretty important play. I'm going to go for the Morning Sun and get back up to almost full, as he's going to go for another Earthquake. Now, if I live this Earthquake, which I should, I can... It all depends on, can I live a Scarfed Brave Bird from a Crobat. I ran the calcs, or I'm sorry, I didn't run the calcs, but I was just banking on the fact that I could. That was my only hope. If I could live the Scarfed Brave Bird, what I'm assuming to be Scarfed Brave Bird from the Crobat, then I could heal up and keep spamming healing, eventually hitting it with some Fire Blast. And then Arcanine will be taking on Sylveon one-on-one, and I'm fully prepared for that scenario. I could win that match one-on-one. So, I didn't run the calcs. It would come down to Arcanine versus Crobat who wins. So I'm going to go for a Morning Sun and heal up. He's going to go for the Earthquake, but he does get the crit. So, that's going to be the end of our season, guys. That's the GPSL this year. A little unfortunate that we had to end it on a crit. As you can see, we had a very long chat after the game. So I'll scroll back up to here. So he's going to go for the Earthquake and get the crit. The crit 100% mattered. As you guys saw, I couldn't live one. But at the end of the day, I'm not salty at all. This is a very risky team to be bringing to this battle, and I'm very proud of the way we played, even though I feel like we played well. I feel like we got out-prepped 100%. Rezilient is your GPSL champion. His link will be down in the description below. He's really become a very good friend of mine. We both applied to another league called the NPL, which we will hopefully be hearing about soon, about what's going to go on with that. So Rezilient is a terrific battler. He 100% deserved to win. Congrats to him. It's a little unfortunate that the season had to end on a crit, but nonetheless, I don't think we would be taking the Brave Bird from a Crobat anyways. But just in case, I'm going to pretend like it mattered, but at the end of the day, it probably didn't. I was definitely a lot less salty and depressed about losing the last match, because the last match just felt so much closer, like I could have done it. But this one, I felt hopeless from the beginning, the second that Druddigon came out. So that's going to be it for our season, guys. I'm sorry I lost, but at the end of the day, the GPSL was so much fun. I don't really think, hear what this loser has to say. I don't really think it was about winning or losing. I had a blast. 6-2 is nothing to be ashamed of. Second place is nothing to be ashamed of. And I'm very proud of the way we played. At the end of the day, we beat Grant. That's all that matters, ever. So anyways, guys, that's going to be it for the GPSL. If you want to see more content from me, a like and a subscription would be much appreciated. Of course, we have our playthrough of Pokemon Glazed, and we'll hopefully be starting up a new series soon. As I mentioned in the team prep portion of this video, I'm going to be doing a video where I did my entire live team building, so you guys can see my process for why I prepped for what and what I did, even though it's probably not going to be very valuable due to the fact that I got my ass kicked. I will be blunt. But anyways, guys, that's going to be it for the GPSL. If you did enjoy, I'd love to hear more from what you guys want to see. I'd love to do another competitive league. It's so much fun. If you guys are into Pokemon and you're not in a competitive league, get in one. It's a ton of fun. So anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this video, and I will see you later.